Hey everybody, Kyle Blair with K-Bro Fitness, and this is video log number 4. And today we're going to talk about occlusion training or blood flow restriction training, BFR. And I hope it's informative, and I hope you like my other videos. I try to keep them energetic, not too scientific, but a little bit so that you kind of get a background of what I'm talking about. And I try to keep a lot of energy because nobody likes the guy who lectures like this. Okay? So hopefully it's helping. Okay, back to the topic. Occlusion training. What is it? It is an unorthodox way of lifting where you literally hinder the blood flow to the muscle. Okay? When you're lifting, your muscles have two or three, depends on how technical you get, types of muscle fibers. You got type 1, which is highly oxidative. It likes oxygen. It's better for long endurances, like marathon runners will use it more. And then there's type 2 and type 2B, and that would be your sprinter, power lifter, and pretty much when you lift weights, use that the most, unless you go over 2 minutes, but we won't get into that. So, what is blood flow restriction? You want to take something as a wrap or a blood pressure cuff, but I mean, who's going to bring that to the gym? Or a $10,000 piece of equipment known as a Keiatsu machine, but I highly doubt you have one of those. And if you have one, let me know because I don't know. I'd like to try it. But anyway, use a strap. So what you do is when you're lifting, you go to a machine. I like isolation machines. If you've never done this before, try to do it on a machine where you're not standing up, because for safety reasons, obviously. So do like a leg extension or a leg curl or something like that, or a bicep curl. Those are all good ones. You can wrap either your arms or your legs. Okay? And because you don't have a highly technical piece of machinery to get exact on how you should wrap it tightness-wise, you don't want to completely cut it off because, I mean, common sense, you don't want to seriously, like, cut everything off of the muscle. But you want to wrap it enough to where the blood flow is restricted and lactic acid cannot leave the muscle. Okay? So, rule of thumb, a lot of the articles that I've read up on it have said 7 out of 10. So when I do this, when I first started at least, I wrap as hard as I can, okay? And then I take it off. And that's how you know how hard you can wrap it. And then you do it again and try to do it at about 70% or 7 out of 10 tightness, okay? So this is a great exercise to add in at the end of a lift. I had an injury back in April. It wasn't anything huge, but it kept me from lifting heavy things with my hips, and that kept me a lot of leg. I had to hold back on legs, like squats and leg presses. And the good thing about BFR or occlusion training is it allows you to lift at about 20 to 30% of your 1 rep max, and usually people lift at about 50 to 80%. So you're lifting relatively lighter, okay? But metabolically, you're getting the same benefits as if you were lifting at the 50 to 80% range. So your body doesn't really know that you're lifting like a wimp. So, you know what I'm saying? So how does it work? Well, there's a number of things that it does, okay? First of all, it's when you work out, there's lactic acid accumulation. And originally, scientists thought that this was a waste product. But actually, lactic acid can be used by the cell itself to be turned back into ATP and energy, all right? So by keeping the lactic acid in your legs, it can have a positive effect on lifting, okay? Now, back to the fibers I was talking about, oxidative and non-oxidative. Oxygen, non-oxygen, okay? Muscle building, you like to use non-oxygen, okay? So by wrapping your legs like this and cutting off some of the blood flow, blood carries oxygen, by the way, you're making your body tap into fibers that don't have oxygen or don't need oxygen to keep going, aka type 2, type 2B, the muscle building ones, okay? So you're tapping into those fibers and you're using more of those, hence strength gains and muscle gains, okay? And then another reason is cellular volume, okay? Your legs are going to expand, and when I say expand, I mean the biggest pump you will ever freaking have, I promise you. You think you get a pump doing like drop sets and supersets and 30 reps? You have no idea until you try occlusion training. And what it does is it expands the cells, and the cells have one of two options. One, they burst, which they won't, don't worry. Unless you do some ridiculous amount that's just like, trust me, you're not going to be able to do this amount. It's going to burn so bad that you'll never make it to that, I promise. Or they'll grow. Cellular volume, or the size of your cells, bigger growth, hypertrophy, okay? They can withstand bigger sizes, making physiological changes, okay? Also, it raises IGF-1, which is a growth factor in muscle, and can increase growth hormone, which is a synergist with IGF-1, okay? Now, how frequently should you use this method, and when should you use this method? They say use it 2 to 3 times a week. I like to use it once, maybe twice. Pretty much what I'm saying is don't make it a staple. Don't do every lift like this, unless you have an injury like I did. And then maybe use it a little bit more frequently so you can still lift weights. But if your injury's too bad, don't train at all, trust me. It's better to take a day off and miss one lifting session than to further their injury and put you out longer, trust me, okay? So 1 to 2 times a week. So when you're doing it that many times, it's supposedly the best range of or frequency that you should do it. When should you do it in a workout? That's the next question. And I like to put it at the end. Why? Because it's going to take some mental drive, okay? It's going to be the worst burn that you've ever had, I promise, okay? And afterwards, your muscles are going to be just donezo, okay? So if you're doing a leg day and you finish all your compound movements such as lunges and squats and straight leg deadlifts, your leg extensions at the end, wrap it up, do 2 to 3 sets, and that's a good way to finish a workout. When you put it on, wrap it at a 7 to 10. The rep ranges that are good, I like 20 to 30 reps. Remember, you're lifting at 20 to 40% of your 1 RM, okay? So 2 to 4 out of 10 scale. So you want to keep the reps high, take about 30 seconds break. Shorter breaks increase metabolic activity, they'll increase the pump, and they can increase growth hormone, aka you will grow more. Now you will want to keep those on the entire exercise. So if you have 2 to 4 sets of it, do not take them off in between, okay? Now, focus, okay? It is going to take some serious focus, okay? You're not just going to do it for 4 sets of 30 reps with 30-second rests the first time you ever do it. I promise you that you will not do that, okay? If you do, you're a man, okay? But I highly doubt you will, okay? So, do this. You're going to have to get some knee wraps. Sometimes they'll have the rubber band, like elastic stretching bands at gyms. You can use these as well, you time it or not. I don't like those as well. For safety, try to wrap them completely. Like, you shouldn't see the overlaps of the straps. They should be like one unit. And that is to lessen the chance of blood clotting. I highly doubt there would be something like that, but if you do overlap it, it's a lot safer. So this is a pretty good training. I've been using it for about 3 to 4 months now, and I really like the effects. I really like the pump. So that's video log number 4. Stay tuned for more, and I hope it helps. Have a great day, guys, and stay fit.